So for my next automotive project, I'm going to be doing the vehicle of the best Texas Ranger of all time. Well, sorry, Nolan, it's not you. Yes, you are the best Texas Rangers baseball player of all time. We're talking about lawmen. Here we go. The best Texas Ranger of all time of law enforcement rangers. You may think that that's Walker, and yeah, the two look a whole lot alike, but actually this is J.J. McQuaid. A lot of people call him a lone wolf. There are plenty of YouTube channels with great modelers who have great production skills. This is not one of them. Welcome to Cable's Creations. So, working with this push bar, comparing it to some of the reference photos, found out that's not going to be coming up near tall enough. So I was thinking about scratch building and then realized, you know what? I've got a better solution. I own a 3D printer now, so I'm actually going to 3D print it. And also, while doing some mock-ups where I figured out that that wasn't going to be big enough, I did go ahead and I found out that those parts I've painted silver are going to be behind some orange clear parts, so went ahead and painted those silver. It's a little sloppy, but a lot of that's going to be covered up. Also, started doing some mock-up of this. That's not exactly the way everything's gonna go, but did a little mock-up so that I could drill holes. Figured that that is going to be okay to scratch build, or kind of sort of scratch build. So I've got those things on there. Probably going to work out better than trying to, what I may end up designing and 3D printing that instead. And I've also got to start on figure painting J.J. McQuaid. A lot of the flesh tone in, but still going to need a few more coats on the flesh parts, and then I can get into painting the shirt, jeans, and the hair. I also put together the steering wheel. That's going to need just a little bit more paint on it. I also started getting a little more work done on the beer cans. I got like silver on the top. What are going to be the tops? Silver on the bottom. Going to do a little bit more gray on it too, to try to sort of make it look more like mountains that are on the can. And also on the roll bar, got black. After I sanded off the seam line, got it in black, and then masked that off and got the silver. And just going to have to brush paint some of those details on the fire extinguishers. Okay, one thing I did, or kind of how I did this, was first put a little piece of tape, ran it across that almost vertical part of the triangle window, laid it down to have a line, and then after taking this part, I had put just a little bit of paint on the pins there, and then just set it in place, marked it with that paint, used that as a guide for where to drill my holes. That was something I just created, and that might come in handy for somebody else. Oh, just a little bit of progress. Got the wheel put together and painted. Also got that roll bar parts painted, and also some work on the beer cans. Meanwhile, been working on the figure painting. I think I'm just about done with the flesh tones. Might put a little bit more highlights on his cheeks, and then I can start getting into eyebrows, beard, lips, and hair. A little bit bigger, but much bigger than like 135, 148, or 172, but even at the larger size, I'm not really wild about figure painting. Okay, got the decals and the instrument panel down, and also attached the steering wheel. I'm going to do a little bit of work. I think I'm going to install the parts for the roll bar, and I'm going to wait and get my driver finished painting before installing things for the interior. Still a work in progress, but got most of the face and hair done. Gonna do some like washes to get some, and maybe a little dry brushing to get some highlights on the hair. So it's not just monotone, but also gonna need another coat or two on the shirt, but I'm pretty happy with the way that's come along. I don't think I've gotten a face figure, gotten a figure to come out so well before. Also got the roll cage installed. Got one spot that was being a little finicky, so taking a clamp to convince it to come down. I wish I'd started a video before I got into this. I realized just with the way that this car is going to sit in the diorama, the inside of where that sunroof that I don't want, and I've pretty much covered over on the top, would be pretty visible at an angle, something like that. So I've started, first I put down a piece of styrene, and also going to put some putty in there and really sand it down. But I also discovered sink marks, so I'm waiting for the glue to dry on that piece of styrene, and before I put some putty down, I'm just working on getting rid of some sink marks. There's one that's actually pretty much gone now. Got just the edges of that one and some remnants of that one. All right, got that mark sanded out. I've also got putty down and fairly well smoothed out. Oh, what's that? Looks like an edge of another mark over there. I'll have to get that when I'm doing my sanding. On this area, get that all smooth. I'm not sure that that sink mark would show up, but it just might. And also, if you notice, there's now an extra hole right beside where the those holes for the light bar. That's to let the wiring through. I'm going to get that done eventually. Got the interior largely done. Got that dashboard done, and even added a whole bunch of radios. Probably more than was on the movie, but I just had all those parts. Like, yeah, I can make this look interesting. And I made some pretty good progress on JJ. Might need another coat or two on the shirt. Yeah, it's like one little spot of touch up on the hair maybe, but no, that's actually where his ear is. But might do like some washes with oils or maybe even acrylics to get some different tones in the hair. And got some putty to sand and refinish on that. Also been working away trying to get the totally off screen on trying to get the roll cage designed with the 3D printing. So I figured out how to print from existing files, but designing something, that's a whole new skill set. Well, here is my first ever 3D print that I designed myself. That's the brush guard for the Ramcharger. That's the design, and hopefully it will print out the way I want. Well, I got a clear coat on so I can start doing some washes to make things on the shirt pop a little bit more, and also work on the hair. Get some different tones in there with oils. And I basically clean off the bench, partly get ready to for my weekly trip to Dixie Station, but also gonna do some 3D printing of the brush guard. I'll set the 3D printer up to while I watch some football, and I kind of bounce back and forth between the football games and On Patrol Live on the weekends with the wifey. Well, here was my first attempt at the brush guard, and when I was getting it off the supports, broke off a piece on the back, but turned out not really to be too big of a problem because that was way too wide. I think I had, as I was doing some things in the designing, something regenerated after I had changed it up and made it too wide. So went back to the program, and there it is, still on the supports. And also changed up the way I printed so that the part that I broke off is going to be staying on there a little better and easier to trim off. Got it outside, so let it get some UV light from the sun and cure up. Also did some other things for my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is just obsessed with a certain TV show. If you've seen these, if you can see, that's you can guess that's Yellowstone she loves. Well, I'm back in Dixie Station now. So this is Sunday, and this probably won't be seen for 2 weeks from now. But that's all I've got for this week on the Ramcharger. And so still gotta finish up the figure, and that'll complete the interior. And so everything else is just going to be figuring out wiring and working on the exterior. Till then, showing you mine to hopefully make you feel better about yours.